Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across a video where this man was talking about how Kendrick Lamar proved that black people cling so much to oppression, and that if there is that black people may not have anything to talk about aside from oppression. And I am going to ask, does it mean that oppression is not happening to black people? Then, if the answer is no or yes, then I will know what to tell you further, right? And let me remind him that Kendrick Lamar's halftime Super Bowl was not about oppression because it got nothing to. He was passing a message across to those people, and you look like those people. I don't know why. When he said they are not like us, I am sure he knew what he meant, and people like you fall into that category, right? And he was talking about how black people want reparations so bad, stereotyping black people, saying that if that reparation is being paid to them, that black people will still go and spend the money where with the people that do not like them. And I am asking, why is it that some people are always very quick to tell people how to even spend their money? That is another one. Now, this is also him stereotyping black people because this is also the way other people stereotype black people. That also shows you how some people already have bought into white supremacists. But from his talking point, I feel like this man is start dancing to some people. You know, when you have to please other people to displace your own people. Let's get into this video.
Black people don't want to get rid of oppression because then they have nothing else left to talk about. And I know this is going to offend a lot of people, but I honestly don't care. I am sick. I did the debate on the Shade Room, and that's what they kept bringing up. The halftime show Kendrick Lamar did, that was his message to the culture. We're here. We're going to be unified. We're going to rebuild Black Wall Street. First of all, listen, if you cut black people a check, there's a book called From Here to Equality that was written by Dr. Sandy Darity, and I forget the other author's name. It was, done. It was compiled via several sources. A lot of research went into it, but it said that each person that is a descendant of slaves is owed around $250,000. I'm gonna tell you what most black people would do if you cut them a check in this country for 250 grand. They're not going out buying no property. Most of us, we're not going out buying property. We're gonna take that money and give that money right back to the same people that are so-called oppressing us still in 2025. We're gonna take most of that money and go right to Louis Vuitton, right to Gucci, right to Hermes, right to Ferragamo. We're going to all of these places that supposedly don't like us, because the mythology of oppression is so important to black identity that we have forgotten we are more than an oppressed class. I have never personally seen one black person in my lifetime cry over the injustice of slavery because their ancestors were enslaved. I have never seen any black person crying because their ancestors were slaves. I've seen them crying because they couldn't get damn Beyonce tickets over anything else. I've seen them crying because they wasn't first in line to get the newest Jordans before I've ever seen them cry about legitimate oppression in this country. And until we change that, until we really understand that we live now in the most free time in American history, the holding on to the slave mentality is going to continue to psychologically and financially hold us back. The Democratic Party, the left, banks on oppression being the oratorical method of choice. If I speak to you constantly about oppression, you will still believe you are oppressed, and you will still do what I need you to do every single election cycle. You will take your oppressed ass to the ballot box and look for me to give you a fish rather than teach you to fish. The Democratic Party relies on the oppression narrative. Break free from it and you will literally be out of the matrix. That's all you got to do, black people. All we have to do, keep our eyes fixated on that which matters. And somebody gonna say this is the tool of the slave master. That's a lie. They took this book from us. But hey, Jesus said many false Christs would arise. Jesus said, blessed are you when you're persecuted. Do you understand it though? As for me, I understand it now. Black people don't want to get rid of oppression because then they have nothing else left to talk about.
There's no way in hell, at your big ass age, you made this video and said that shit. There's only two reasons why you would. Either your doctorate means nothing because you don't know, or you're pandering to somebody that don't look like us. I'm going to leave it to you to figure out, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of stuff. Just a few things, okay? First off, when you put this video out, your little tag was, tell me I'm wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I'm telling you. Black man to black man, you were wrong as shit. Because you seem to think this is about oppression. Black folks love oppression. Without it, we wouldn't have nothing else to talk about. And all they want is a check. They can rebuild Black Wall Street. First and foremost, Greenwood is still there. Is it as big as it was in its heyday? No. But it's there. Go down and check it out. All you gotta do is drive down to Tulsa. I did. But you think this is about money, don't you? Allow me to show you how wrong you truly are. Number one, the amount of money that it would take to address all of these issues, all of the long, bloody history of blackness in America would bankrupt this country. It would be a worthless check the moment the federal government wrote it. Worthless. Because our money would be in the goddamn toilet. And secondly, an amount of money does not address the systems that were put in place that got us here in the first place. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. See if they make any sense to you. Do you think an amount of money will stop me, a 6 foot tall, melanated man, from going into any store that I want? Money in my pocket, money on my credit card, walking in the door and having to be asked, can I help you 5 and 6 times, being followed by security? Do you think how much of an amount of money would solve that problem? How much of a check do you think could be written that would allow people with names like LaQuisha and Jamal to be the CEO of a large company if they have all the qualifications and not be shunned because their name sounds ghetto or black or ethnic? How much of a check do you think you'd have to write to address the Rockefeller drug laws, the 3 strikes and you're out laws, the crime bill, and the war on drugs that literally put an entire generation of black folks in prison for decades for non-violent drug offenses? While you're thinking about that, I'll get a little bit deeper. So you looked at what Kendrick Lamar did on the Super Bowl stage, and you thought black folks love oppression. What I saw was black joy in its purest form. I saw a young man at the height of his talent being celebrated on the largest stage on earth. 133.5 million people tuning in to watch, and him giving a performance for the ages. You saw oppression, I saw joy. Maybe we were watching 2 different things. Maybe. Or, again, maybe we weren't the people that you were making that video for. But like I said, hold on. I got you, fam. Don't worry about it. See, what you did was you bought into the bullshit. You think black folks just want to check, when since day one, we've been wanting reform. That's it. Do you realize there are small police departments all over America right now driving around and using military grade equipment as if they're fighting Al-Qaeda and the Taliban on the streets of Chattanooga, Tennessee, or Cincinnati, Ohio today? Now, I understand the new boogeyman is the cartels and the ethanol. The cartels are coming, meaning they're about to do to our Mexican brothers and sisters the same thing they did to us when it was crack cocaine. How much money do you think the federal government would have to pay us for that? Money without reform is nothing. If I hit you in a head-on collision and you are crippled for the rest of your life, and I just handed you a big old blank check, and I just put in maybe 100,000, 200,000, a million, 2 million, 5 million, but I'm still out there running into people, did that money really mean anything? Did it? Or would you have liked it that I faced the consequences of my actions? I actually reformed. I did prison time because of what I did. And in the meanwhile, you're getting rehab. They're trying to nurse you back to health. That's the part you missed. You think this was about oppression. No, this was a celebration. You think it's about a check. No, a check is meaningless without reform. I can have all the money that the government gives me and still be chased and walked around and followed in every store while I'm spending all this money. So explain to me, how good is that money if I'm still suffering through the same goddamn things? I'm still being pulled over by police because my light is out and shit like that. Do you think money would have saved Amir Locke, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor? Do you think money would have saved that? But hold on, because I'm almost done. They had to pass the Crown Act so that black men and black women could go to work with their natural hairstyles, whether it's dreadlocks, a big old afro, cornrows, what have you. We still have people using words like DEI, which is actually diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then they're making excuses. Or, well, it was a DEI that brought down planes that meant black, but none of the people that were flying were black. I digress. They use words like woke and woke mind virus and wokeism. Basically, a word black folks used to keep each other safe, they have now bastardized. And you want to tell me about a goddamn check? Do you think a check's going to stop that? Do you think a check is going to stop Fox News from using black gangs and Venezuelan gangs to scare the shit out of white people? Because I know that's what your audience was. You didn't make that video for black folk. No, you made it. You made it for white people. And you call yourself a doctor? A doctor? And you still believe in this shit? I do not have a doctorate. I have a bachelor's degree, but I don't have a doctorate. And you betrayed your doctorate by making a video so tone deaf in wording, tone deaf in sound, tone deaf in idea. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, but I'm pretty sure you're not. No, Kendrick Lamar's halftime show was not about oppression. It was about celebrating being our true and authentic selves and being good at what we do. And there isn't an amount of money that the federal government could give me or any other black person for that. We don't want a check. We want reform. Reforming the system that would make people believe that it is wrong for a black man to be celebrated because he's good at what he does and he is a black man. You would know that if you weren't pandering. Now, it is imperative of you to prove me wrong. But I doubt you can. Because you're not like us.
I'm going to discuss the 3 phases of 40 acres and a mule. In the beginning, it was all about land redistribution. The mule came later. People like Charles Sumner, Thaddeus Stevens, and other radical Republicans were advocating for land redistribution because they wanted to strip the slaveholders of their power. This plan took place when General William T. Sherman met with black American leaders. This is the first time in American history that the government reached out to the black American community and asked them specifically, what do y'all want? You will be shocked on what they requested. People down south, this is what the leaders requested. I'm going to tell y'all. They wanted land, fertile land that they could work. And on top of that, they was like, don't even give the land to us free. Wait until we save up money and we want to buy it from you. Then General Sherman asked the leaders, hey, do you want to be scattered amongst the whites or do you want your own colonies? They were like, no, we want our own colonies. We want to live by ourselves. I hope I can have another minute of y'all time because I want to break down the 3 phases. This is the land phase, the land set aside for free black Americans. The islands from Charleston south, the abandoned rice fields along the rivers for 30 miles back from the sea, and the country bordering the St. Johns River, Florida. Phase 2, the government. Who governs this land? Entirely black people. No white people were permitted to live there. Phase 3, the final phase, the allocation of land and the protection of the people. Each family will receive no more than 40 acres of fertile land and military protection for the people. Abraham Lincoln signed off on this. 40,000 free black Americans were able to occupy this land until Lincoln was assassinated and Andrew Johnson stepped into his place. Andrew Johnson was a sympathizer. He said, return the land back to the slaveholders. I feel like America should have did to the South what Germany did to the Yazidis.
I woke up this Monday just giddy. On this Monday of Black History Month, that Super Bowl performance and Black History Month, just so much Black excellence and just recognition of our culture. It was just like, and Kendrick's performance, it was just, put a bow on it. I needed it so bad. And Serena Seawalk, listen, come on, child. Come on, child, with the OG. The OG Seawalk. Come on now. I'm not even mad at it. Oh, we got to run that back, y'all. We got to run that back. It put me in a great mood. What I got to be mad at? And to have a black quarterback whose wife is not a Trump supporter. Oh, I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. Black is so beautiful. Black is so excellent. Black is everything. I love it for us. You know, a lot of their goal is to make us feel isolated and alone. And for us to be so highlighted throughout the Super Bowl, even though they tried to put the Black National Anthem like way before and then put Lady Gaga. You know what? We still did it. We still showed out. And John Baptiste's rendition of the national anthem, come on now. Come on now. If you did not appreciate that rendition, if you don't like Black culture, just say that. It was so soulful. And then Kendrick was just so much of, like, especially on the West Coast, that was like our culture on display. Come on now. You couldn't tell me no different. The last thing I would do is get up here on this app and critique that. The only thing I would critique, actually, is them trying to put Snoop. Y'all didn't get the memo? He don't represent us no more. No. He wanna fool to do the inauguration crypto ball for the dictator? No. He's not the one you should have brought to call for unity. No. He's a traitor. So, Tom Brady definitely wasn't for us. So if y'all calling for unity, you should have picked somebody else. So, you know, probably couldn't find anybody else then, actually. Makes sense. The only one you could find. Didn't realize that they not like us.
This is all I got from this video, and I will try as much as I can to explain some certain things because it looks like some people are actually lost, trying to buy into white supremacists, right? Now, I am going to start by saying that everything Kendrick Lamar did on that stage was pure art, and that is something that I will never stop saying. Even if my brother comes here tomorrow to criticize that song, I will still talk to him the way I talk to every other person that stood out to denigrate his work of art. The problem with some people is that it is okay for every other people to be celebrated, but people that look like me are not supposed to be celebrated. Why? Because, why am I supposed to celebrate you? I don't know if that makes sense, right? This man is talking about that we buying joy or being joyful in oppression. What is he talking about? This man, does he think that he is still, they are still not going to call him DEI hire? Is that what he's thinking? That he is going to be exceptional or he is going to be different? Now, let me say this. If there is something Black people have been fighting all these years, is nothing but to dismantle the system that has been oppressing us. Now, some people are going to ask, what system? There has been a system in place right from the onset to minimize Black people's effort. And if you are a Black person and you are not saying that system, I cannot make you say it. You have also chosen your path. Now, let me tell us this. Because Black people talk about oppression, does it mean that they sit down and wait for things to happen for them? No. They are all out there pushing and working so hard to make life better for them. So some of them, the mindset they have each time the Black people talk about oppression is like, that lazy mindset whereby you sit back and wait for things to happen to you or wait for people to buy bread for you. No, that is not the kind of mindset we have. And why? Because I know Black people and I know the kind of mindset they have. And I don't know, I am going to say you are not like us because your features somehow is giving, I don't know what it's giving, but I am going to digress, right? Because there are so many loopholes from his message. And also he went further to stereotype Black people. Why also looking for a way to, I don't know if because this cannot be correction, because he is already speaking from the mindset or from the mouth of the people that stereotype Black people. Who told you that if reparations are being paid today, that people are going to Louis Vuitton? You think everybody wants to stay back in America? The truth is that give Black people that money and find out that tomorrow you might wake up and not see a lot of people in that place because everybody are looking for a way to vanish and look for something better to do with their money for themselves. The same way, if you also give other people that money, some might use it for something good, some people might also use it for something not good. Why is it that it's only in our community that you all wake up to tell people what to do with their money and what not to do with their money? When you work for your money, right? I am not supposed to tell you how to spend your money. It is left for you to spend it the way you want. And it is enough. Enough is enough. People trying to tell people how to live their life because they have already programmed the way, programmed you in a way that this is how you are supposed to behave, or this is how a Black man is supposed not to behave. Really, I am really tired of waking up every day to people that look like, I don't know if he look like me, sincerely speaking, but if he does, my apologies. Oh, I am not apologizing. Sorry. Now he talks about how, now this man, the way he looks right now, trust me, if he were to be a pilot and if something goes wrong anywhere he is, first of all, they will look at him because he is a DEI hire. I am not saying he's a DEI hire, but that, yeah, he is also a DEI hire because that is what they will see him as, because that is what he is. I don't know if I am trying to make, if I am making sense at all. Some people think they are special. Some people think they are untouchable because, see, I've been saying this. Can they ban all these podcast equipment? Because some people are already using that opportunity to, like, make a mess of themselves. Some people think oppression is something you joke around with. And the people oppressing you absolutely know that they are oppressing you. And you that is being oppressed is out there trying to tell us, you just have to forget about it. It is not happening. If it is not happening, why are you not buying houses in some certain places? And why are you not being hired in some certain places? Because you cannot be hired. Because you are not good enough. You are woke. You are a woke candidate. You are a candidate of DEI. I don't know if that does make sense. I don't know. I feel like some people are all are in kind of a loss or not in touch with their own history. And I am not trying to tell people you have to be in touch with your history. But one thing I have known so far is that when you are not in tune with your own history, you are bound to make mistakes. There are some places as a Black man, you cannot even get into there without not even without, you cannot get in there. But other people will just walk past. Now, I saw a video and the people in the comment section, everybody were on the same page. I just scrolled past. Then it happened that a white man fought cops in the middle of the road. I mean, for like how many minutes? For more than 2-3 minutes. They did not tase him. They were still trying to calm him down, even with how chaos he was during the process, right? Not until he also started hitting and beating them up. And they couldn't, then they now, that was when they, after how many? It cannot be people that look like me because someone is out there trying to tell me otherwise. The reality is that some people are not happy that our Black people are finding joy in some certain things. Some people are not happy that Black people are finding themselves being happy with their art, expressing it, saying it, being proud of it. They are just used to that kind of, how you have to hide your, don't praise your art. So, don't make it known. Black people have to scream. Black people have to talk about it because it is happening in our own time. And the best we can do is to celebrate it as much as we can. So, to be sincere, Kendrick Lamar wasn't talking about oppression during the show that he did. It was not. The Super Bowl halftime, that was not about oppression. So if you don't even know, you absolutely you are not even in tune with what's going on. But you are so quick to come out here to tell Black people that they absolutely do not have anything to talk about if it is not oppression. Please go get a life and bye for now.